Okay, so I'm still in Illustrator, and I've got this now as a different group. So I have two groups, as you can see in my layers palette. And I want to take this one now and say Object, um, Transform, and I'm going to reflect that again. Only this way I'm going to do a horizontal reflection. You can see that that's going to do something different. There we are. So now I have basically something that I like. I'm going to take this now and grab everything. So I've got all the groups grabbed, and I'm going to say Object Group. So what's interesting about that is if you look at this, I've got a big group. So I have a layer and a group inside of it, and then two groups inside of that, and then more groups inside of that. You know, it just keeps going down the rabbit hole. But what's nice about this is even though this is all different groups, which is fine. If I decide to click on it, it grabs the whole thing. And now if I want to grab it quickly and copy it, what I can do is I can say Option, Copy, like that. Now I'm noticing when I did this, I'm going to delete this one for a second. I'm noticing that this group went down here. You can see things are shifted a little bit. So what I really should have done before I grouped it is move this over a little bit, because you can see that this is kind of shifted a little bit. Let me show you a trick here. So if I grab my group like that and I say Object Ungroup, now I have two groups again. So I'm going to just arrow key that over. So that's in a better place. And again, Object Group again. So even though you have something grouped, you can always ungroup it. Okay, so I'm going to Option Drag. So now I have this copied, and I'm going to put that there, and that looks pretty good. I'm just going to kind of move that around so that looks like it's oriented well. And I think I'm just going to keep going. I'll just grab this again, Option Drag, and put it over here. And I'm feeling kind of lazy, and I want to work smarter, not harder. So now that I have these three right here, I'm going to just drag them all, Option Group again, because why have this complicated design and not play around with it? So I'm going to drag this down here. And, you know, it's up to you. Do you want to stagger it? Like, you want it to kind of be like bricks? Oh, what the heck, I'll do that. That's kind of interesting looking. So it's just kind of staggered, sort of like a brick. And then I'll, even though this is going obviously well off the page over here, oops. Oopsie. Forgot to option. Drag that. Well, off the page over here, I'm just going to drag this over so that fits like that. So I get the whole thing on one page. And I will just continue to do that. So maybe I'll just drag this and this, and I'll grab these two and Option Group again, and just move it over where it was before. That looks good. Ah, I didn't Option Group it. Sorry. There it goes. There. Okay. Now it looks like a big old mess in terms of all the stuff in the background, and I'll show you how to fix that in just a minute. But I think the last thing I'd like to do with this is maybe just resize it a little bit so it fits better. So I'm going to grab everything, hold down the Shift key, and just make it a tiny bit bigger, just so I make sure that this fits the whole artboard. Now remember, what I'm going to see here is anything that's inside this area is what I want to basically keep. So all this extra stuff is just kind of, I'm not going to end up seeing that when I'm all done. You know, I can get kind of crazy with it if I wanted to, and I could, you know, I don't know how deep down the rabbit hole I want to go, but if I just grab this layer, just to show you how quickly and easily, I now have an exact copy of this layer, and I can, oops, I didn't undo. I can take everything in that one layer. Let's lock this one. So I'm on layer 2 now, and I can move it over, and now you can see I get, wow, that's crazy. You know, I can get pretty complicated pretty quickly without having to do really too much work at all. I think I'll just drag it up so it's like that. That's just nuts. But yeah, you can see how quickly and easily you can do that. And then just to show you again, I'm going to go ahead and minimize all this, lock this as well, make another layer, drag it underneath. I don't know why I have 2 layers here. And I'd like to make a background color. So remember, I'm working on layer 4, which is underneath. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag that, bring that down. And I think for now, just make a simple background color. That's pretty. And maybe something that's a little different from one of the shapes I'm using, just to kind of, there we are. Ah, no, I don't like that. A little bit more colorful. There we go. There we are. And that's what I have. So I'm pretty much done with this part, and now I just have to learn how to save this, and I'm good to go. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute.